Hey everybody, it's MarVeena. I wanted to welcome you to my Angel Q&A today. So in this video, we're going to go over an activation formula for activating our Earth Star chakra and our higher chakras. So I wanted to welcome everybody to my page, and I think it's really important to create a collective intention for your desires, what you would like to hear and know from your angels, especially in regards to our spiritual development, because that is my intention for the video. So be sure and post your name in the comments below and where you're tuning in from, because I think it's a great way for us to connect to one another and to create a circle. And even though we're not in each other's physical space, we can connect across time and space, and it helps us to blend our energies. And it also helps me to kind of pull from the angelic realm whatever it is that can be the most beneficial for you at this time. So put your name and where you're from and what's your heart's desire to hear about in this video today. So this is a good way for you to kind of put it out in the world, what's important to you. And I think the angels, whenever we are clear about our intentions, it helps it for them to be able to bring to us information that is relevant to our soul's dream right now. So thank you everybody for hopping on. I've got two streams that I'm watching at once, so sometimes I get a little bit distracted, so it's hard for me to see who all is in one place. But light a candle, burn some incense if you have some, and just take a minute to send out a prayer to the angelic realm, to the Holy Spirit about what is the most important thing for you to get out of our video today. And later on, I will be answering questions. So you can post your questions, and you might post them a couple of times because the feed goes by pretty quick. So it's hard for me to keep up with it. But hey, everybody, it's awesome to see you on here today. So we have our 7 major chakras, but beyond our 7, I shouldn't say major chakras, but our 7 normal chakras that most of us are aware of. And beyond that, we have 5 higher chakras. And way back in the day, when before the fall of Atlantis and Lemuria, everybody, they were incarnated with access to their full 12-strand DNA and their full 12 chakras. And this helped them to really connect to one another, connect to the God stream, to have access to spiritual gifts, to insight. And they misused their power in those lifetimes. And so the Holy Spirit sort of pulled away access to our higher gifts and the higher 5 chakras because we were misusing our powers and our abilities. So just now, like in the last few years, we've been able to raise the consciousness on the planet enough that we are starting to have access to our higher chakras and our higher gifts again. And so the Earth Star chakra is going to be the most important thing that we can activate right now, so that we can then in turn activate the other higher chakras like our crown chakra, our causal chakra, the stellar gateway. Those are all of the higher chakras. And so the first piece of business is grounding and fully activating our Earth Star chakra. So the Earth Star Chakra has 33 petals or chambers. And so these are, you can think of them as each chamber has a challenge, but it also has a gift. And I don't know about you all, but way back in the day when we played video games, and it's like you kind of stumbled into a chamber or a room, and there was like a secret gremlin in there, and you had to challenge the gremlin and overcome that challenge. And once you were able to overcome that challenge, it's like you had access to the gifts of that room, or the gold, or you were able to go to still another chamber and have opportunities that were even bigger than before. So it's kind of like that when we're activating our chakras, and particularly the 33 chambers of the Earth Star Chakra, because they all have like an idea or a concept or a challenge. And sometimes we come into this dimension with maybe those chakras like partially activated, and it's because we have done some spiritual work in other lifetimes that it's kind of given us some grace in this lifetime. And then there's other chambers that we have yet to be able to overcome that idea or those concepts or those challenges within those chambers. So a good spiritual practice is going to help us to align and balance all of our chakras. And one of the biggest reasons, although there are many reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is that when we have a grounded Earth Star Chakra and it's balanced and spinning appropriately, and we've engaged with all of the challenges in there, we will have a whole lot more health and vitality and well-being. We'll have access to our higher gifts as well, and we'll be in a better position to be a blessing to other people, to really do what our soul most wanted to do here in this lifetime. So you can take notes if you want to. I think that is a great way to kind of ground these concepts into this dimension, and it sort of gives your unconscious mind a look at that idea, and to give you a heads up if you might need to do some work in that area, or if that is something that you already have that gift of. So our Earth Star Chakra is about 12 inches below our feet. And this is the energy vortex that connects into the earth and into the very core of Mother Earth. And you could also call her the angel Gaia. She is a immensely beautiful, powerful throne angel. So she is a very high level angel. And everybody that is in a physical body, we came here at her invitation. And she gave us this invitation to participate. And you could think of it as like this huge grand party on planet Earth. But when we came into this dimension and into this party, there were some kind of rules that we agreed before we came in. We agreed that we would step through the veils of amnesia, so we wouldn't necessarily remember our other lifetimes, our connection to each other, our connection to the Holy Spirit. For the most part, some people have a little bit of memory, and some more than others. We would agree that we would immerse ourselves into this physical vehicle, and with its illusions of limitations, and that we would play this game. And it's kind of like a way for us to overcome these illusions. And so she sent us this invitation. We agreed when we came in. And I think it's important that that you understand that when you have your Earth Star chakra activated, you have more of an ability to kind of touch base with her and pull from her knowledge of the universe, but also of the earth, and how we can navigate this planet in a better way, like how we can really make the most use of our time here in our physical body, and just really enjoy the whole aspect of it, because it's unique in the universe. Not every dimension that our souls journey to for experience will have this really 3D immersion experience. So we want to make the most of it and get the most gain of it. And when our Earth Star chakra is activated, it's kind of like we're turning on our signal. And so we can connect to Mother Gaia better, in a better way. And we also would then have access to the ley lines that roll throughout the earth, and to some of the different power places and portals, and also to the pyramids. And for different purposes, like the pyramids have tremendous amount of knowledge, of ideas, of information that we can pull from those libraries. And the ley lines, they carry life force energy and vitality, and they can help us to bring well-being and to bring health back into the organs in our body that are under distress. And I know from a lot of the emails that I get that one of the biggest problems that a lot of you are having are with physical health and balance, different things like disease. When we can connect to the ley lines and to the power portals, to the pyramids, we have access to ideas that can help us to repair the damage to the organs in our body, and rejuvenate, revitalize, and just be in a better position to engage with life from a healthier perspective. That is just one reason. And we are also in a position to share those ideas with people that we love, because I know there's several of my friends that have lost special loved ones. And so they would really love to be able to help them. So this is one way that we can help them. So the Earth Star chakra is it has the 33 petals, and the different petals, you don't have to do them in any particular order, but the first one is to honor the animals, the animal world, to acknowledge the life within that. And especially for those of you that are carnivores, that eat meat, you really want to be very mindful and to bless anything that you take into your body. Bless the animals that gave up their lives to nourish you, and to just know that there is life behind that, conscious life. And the next thing that we want to think about is to honor and respect the earth, to acknowledge her as a living, breathing being who brings substance to and sustenance to all of us, and has awareness, has consciousness, very high consciousness, actually. We want to appreciate the reptiles and all of the different creatures. For me, it's hard for me to be like wildly appreciative of snakes and the reptiles and the spiders and things, but I don't kill them. But I have a harder time like really appreciating them. So that's definitely one of my like gotchas. And anytime that you have a gotcha or a fear of any of these, then you want to do some meditations about that, some prayer work, ask your angels. That's what I have to do all the time to help you to look at that in a different way, get a different perspective about it, so that you can kind of turn the energy around so that you're not vibrating to fear. You also want to acknowledge the birds. The Holy Spirit brings messages through the bird kingdom all of the time. When I'm doing my readings here in my office, I have a huge water trough right outside my window. And so it's amazing the different birds that come to drink there. And I think it's also really interesting because sometimes I'll be doing a session with somebody and like a hawk might come down to get a drink. And there is something about the medicine of the hawk that has a message for that person, or maybe the bluebirds or the redbirds, but it's the Holy Spirit connects to us through all of the different animals and the different elements. We want to be very mindful of how we're walking on earth, that we're doing our best to walk with integrity. I think that is a huge piece of business of handling ourselves and our affairs, our relationships, our connections with the best integrity and impeccability that we can, but also our relationship with the earth. So that would be, are we taking some steps to recycle our trash and to always leave a place better than when we find it? So like if you go camping, it's like everything that you pack in, you take out, you're just very mindful of the earth, and doing what we can to pray for her healing and anywhere that she might have been abused. Another thing is to connect to the trees, all of the greenery, the grasses, the greens, the shrubs, the tree spirits, and especially the idea of the leaves and photosynthesis. That is a particular thing to be very aware of, because it is helpful for us to understand the laws of creativity, of manifestation, and of creation. So ask your angels to help you to kind of wrap your mind around that in a better way. That one's not an easy one for me. I totally understand why it's important, but it's like how to apply it to what I want to create in this lifetime. It's a little more difficult, but it is important. And I think a clue is the idea of visualization and working with the light and the action energy. We want to strive to give back to the earth. And one of the ways that my teacher taught me to do that is when you have a connection to a tree that you just think is really beautiful, or to say some roses that you walk by and the shrub is just really pretty and it just makes you happy to see it. My teacher taught me to leave a part of myself with it. So like you could pull like some hair, you could give it a kiss or hug a tree, or you could say a blessing. That is probably what I do the most, is to do a little blessing for it. But the best thing is just to acknowledge the beauty of it and have just an interaction. And don't worry about people that make fun of you for hugging trees. You will be the healthier and the more vibrant because you honor the elementals. And that will be more important down the road. So you want to strive to give back to the earth. The rocks are special holders of energy. They help us to learn to hold space, and they hold ancient wisdom. And so we always want to honor the mineral kingdom, the rocks, the stones, the boulders. They're very important for our journey here, to help us to just have the idea of holding space. So the next thing is to be open to receiving life force energy. I think so many times, especially women, are more. It's easier for us to give than it is to receive, but we want that balance. We want to strive for balance in activating that particular petal of the Earth Star Chakra. So we need to receive from the earth, receive from the elements, from the sun, the moon, the Holy Spirit. That helps us to overcome and activate that particular petal in the Earth Star Chakra. And that might look like a breathing meditation. Just breathe in, inhale, exhale, and allow yourself to kind of soak up the vibrancy of the earth, and just let it rejuvenate the physical, the mental, the emotional, the spiritual. So that is a great way for us to activate and engage with that particular petal of the Earth Star Chakra. So the next one is to appreciate the produce of Mother Earth, the bounty of the earth. So when we're having some fabulous watermelon or some juicy apples, that we want to acknowledge the bountifulness of the earth. And I think that that serves a purpose in way more ways than one. But it's showing appreciation, but it is also, it's helping to position ourselves to continue to vibrate to bountifulness and to having more than enough. So I do that. It's I think it's interesting that especially little children, when they first start to eat, like they're 3 or 4, and they make noises when they eat, like they're yum and oohing and awing over their food. And I notice that their parents are always like, be quiet, don't make noises while you eat. But I think it is that it's important that we be okay with our naturalness in that, that we're appreciating what the earth is giving to us, and it is what it is. So we want to appreciate the bountifulness of the earth. The next one is to appreciate the stars and the different planets, and their I know sometimes it might be difficult for us to really understand, what their roles are, but if we just appreciate their beauty and acknowledge them, it's that kind of opens the doorway for us to get more insight about why things are designed the way they are and why they can be meaningful to us. The next petal is to appreciate the dirt of the earth, the soil, to actually walk barefoot every once in a while, be okay with getting some dirt on our skin, getting some dirt under our fingernails, and to resist the urge to go clean up anytime that we get dirty. That it's important because we're being respectful, for one thing. We're also acknowledging our roots. We're all created from the earth through the elements, earth, air, fire, water, and then combined with the Holy Spirit. So we are of the earth, and by occasionally walking on the earth and getting dirt in our hands, like working in the garden in different ways, it just helps us to kind of get back to our roots and to appreciate that aspect of ourselves, the elemental aspect. I think that's what I'm wanting to say there with that, is to really know that we are elemental, that we are a part of the elements, and we have that aspect of the divine, of the Holy Spirit, that breathes life into this elemental aspect of ourself. The next thing is to honor the teachings of the marine life, of particularly the dolphins. They help to hold the dream, the collective dream for humankind. So the dolphins are very high vibrational, very intelligent mammals, and they're holding on to way more information than what we can really wrap our mind around right now. But if you honor them, respect them, do what you can to offer clean waters for them to live in and to be safe in, I think that is a way that you can activate and overcome that petal in the Earth Star Chakra. We also want to honor all marine life, all of the beautiful fishes and turtles, the whales. They are very high level, high vibrational mammals as well. And we want to respect the human kingdom, even in this particular day and age when everything is very polarized. When you find yourself being triggered by the way other people might think, or what they might be immersed in right now, or how they're running their energy or minding their business, it's so important that we can honor the humanness of them and respect their humanness, even if we might feel like it's not very evolved right now, that it's a lower consciousness. We just have to realize that we all go through those phases where we have these limits of consciousness and we don't have expanded awareness. But as we're able to overcome and engage with that particular petal in the Earth Star Chakra, it helps us to expand our own consciousness and step up a level. And we want to have or give some grace for those that are still locked into lower dimensions. And I think that will be, that will help you to overcome that aspect. So I gotta get, whoops, hang on a second. All right, we want to acknowledge that we're all an aspect of the divine, of the Holy Spirit, of the Godhead. Even, it doesn't matter, where your belief system is, we're all an aspect of the divine mind. And when we just know that in our heart and appreciate that, that allows us to overcome that petal in the Earth Star Chakra. So we're, cranking through them. We're opening up more and more of them. The next one is to honor the world, the flowers. They're like graces from the Holy Spirit, and they have a consciousness themselves, and they can really offer a lot to us in the way of encouragement, of inspiration, of creativity, of imagination, even of healing. Way back in the day, there used to be a very strict protocol of what kind of flowers to send people, and that it was very symbolic. So if you if you had a connection with someone, say at a party, and the next day you wanted to send them flowers, if you really liked them but you didn't love them, you would send them like yellow flowers, like yellow roses. If you loved them, then you might send the red roses. That all of the colors in the different flowers were very significant. They were very symbolic. And it's like they told a whole story without saying a word. That it's like when people received those gifts, they knew, like, okay, this is the understanding with this person. But the flowers have a lot to teach us. And when we open our minds to interacting on a higher level, then we start to get more information, more ideas. When you lock yourself down to a way of thinking like, well, mother and daddy didn't teach me that, so that's not the way it is, then you limit yourself to the limitations of your your parents, of your ancestors, and you don't elevate your consciousness, it's like you don't get anywhere. We really have to create an open mind and an open heart in order, and take some leaps of consciousness, some leaps of faith. That's a big thing in activating our higher chakras, is that we be willing to explore territory that's not necessarily known to us or to our parents or to our image makers. A lot of times we have to think for ourselves and follow our heart, follow our gut instincts and what we feel is appropriate for right now. Rather, any of our friends are doing it, rather our boyfriend does it, or our husband, or our sister, or our parents did that. I honestly feel like everybody that is connected or drawn to my material, it's like you are a part of the star seed consciousness, and it is time. It's like your angels and the Holy Spirit are saying it's time for you to kind of kick it up a notch, and let's up level our game, up level our consciousness, activate more of who we are. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. It might even be physically uncomfortable to detox. It might be emotionally uncomfortable to let go of attachments to people that might not support us, or they might be actively against us changing anything about ourselves. So it's not always easy, but it is worth it. So just hold that in your heart. The next piece is honoring the masculine, the divine masculine energy, the action energy, especially emanating from the sun, and honoring that spark of life and that action, and recognizing how it helps us to put ourselves out in the world, to create life, to be more of a powerful creator. And then on the flip side of that, we want to honor and respect and acknowledge the divine feminine and that beautiful energy of the moon, and how it helps us to remember our true authentic self and our higher self, and inspires us to have the courage to be true to ourselves and be authentic in our connections to each other, and to ourselves especially. So when we're honoring that, the divine masculine, the divine feminine, we're in a place to, the divine feminine holds our sacred dream, and it's like a container for the divine masculine to activate. So we need that balance to put ourselves out in the world in a beauty way, in a powerful way, to be authentic and true to ourselves, and to take action on our soul's dream. So we honor the divine feminine, we honor the divine masculine. Those are both really important. We want to, the next chamber is to acknowledge and honor the element of water. It's very important. It's more important than what I can properly explain, but it has so many qualities to it that are just, they're powerful, they're transformational. And if it's difficult for you to appreciate, then ask your angels to help give you some better ideas or some more ideas of how you can overcome that particular chakra or that petal in the Earth Star chakra. But I don't know about you, but I drink water all day long. Like right now on the ranch, it's so hot. I mean, we're having like a heat warnings out, and every morning it's like I'm watering all of the horses, all of my plants, and I've got my giant water geared for the day here. And so I sip it all day long, and I think it's very nourishing on way more ways than one. We want to, the next petal in the chamber of the Earth Star chakra is to honor the pyramids. They are amazing structures, and they were created by beings that had their 12 chakras and their 12-strand DNA, and they knew the aspect of themselves that is divine and that is connected to the divine creative stream, and they took action on that, and they built these amazing, beautiful pyramids, and there is just so much within them. And so every once in a while, give some thought to the hidden mysteries of the world, and the pyramids, and all of the things that have come from that, the teachings, the healing aspect, the activation of our higher self, the ability to help us to transcend the limitations of the ego. They're very, very important. And when you're able to tap into the Earth Star chakra and really activate it, it doesn't matter where you are in the earth, you can connect through the channels of the earth and the ley lines. You can connect to the pyramids, and you can then draw through the ley lines the information, the magical teachings, and that can be helpful on healing, especially, but also on creative principles. So I know that there are several of you that have been, very worried about people in their life with disease, and I think that's a huge reason right there to take action on this. The next thing is to appreciate the element of air, that spark of life, very mindful of breathing. And too many times I see people that hold your breath. And often one of the reasons you hold your breath is because you're not feeling deserving of life, of deserving to be here on an unconscious level. So it's when you find yourself holding your breath, you want to just acknowledge that you are here by invitation, and that you're deserving of the good things in life that the air can bring to you. And I was taught that when you breathe in, to do it in a mindful way of what you're wanting to breathe to you in your life today. So you're wanting to breathe in luck, you're wanting to breathe in opportunity, breathe in love, breathe in prosperity. And anytime that you take an exhale, try to imagine yourself letting go of something that might be blocking you from the good things in life. So exhale fear, breathe in love, exhale disappointment, breathe in joy, exhale hatred, breathe in fun, and so on and so forth. But the quality of air is so important, and it helps to connect us to each other. It helps us to be a better and more powerful creator, and to really put our goals out into this world. So the next one that we want to be mindful of appreciating in order to activate another petal in the Earth Star chakra are to appreciate the mountains. They are aspects of Mother Earth, and they carry a lot of mysteries within them. And particularly with the mineral world, with the crystals, they they hold space in this dimension. And I always think of them in a protective way. They help to kind of shore us up from the back and protect our back so that we can go forward in a strong way. But meditate on that and what they might mean to you. They're also challenges for a lot of us. They challenge us to really put ourselves out in the world in a physical way and to see what we're truly made of. But that is another petal in our Earth Star chakra, to respect, to honor, to trust. If you don't know how to activate that, just send out your appreciation to any mountain ranges that might be close to you, or any that particularly draw your attention. So I got to visit the mountains of Machu Picchu, which are just amazing, powerful, incredible. There are many mountain ranges, though, all over the earth, and just connect to them and meditate with them. Ask your angels to kind of give you some ideas how best to do that. But if all else fails, just be respectful of them until you can kind of get some better insight about how to use that and fully activate and open that petal and overcome that challenge in your Earth Star chakra. The next one, the next petal in the chamber is the element of fire. And for me, I think I do have some fear with that one. I'm very respectful of the fire energy, and I've overcome a lot of it in the Native American mysteries, which I've followed for a long time. Part of our ceremonies are the sweat lodge ceremony. And so we really work with the fire energy, and it is a strong, powerful energy. And I've done the fire keeper position several times, and you really have to overcome your fear of it, and you have to zen with it in order to do that, to handle that role. But you can light a candle and work with candle meditations to help you activate your appreciation of the fire energy. But I think that it's a particularly useful one. But it's easy too, because candles are very easy to bring in and to enjoy. And I have candles going all the time. So I have one going right back there. The next one is to appreciate all of the aspects of the earth, the forests, the river systems, all of the different, the grasses, the greens, the shrubs, the waterways, the elementals. I know for me being out here on the ranch, sometimes we fuss a lot about different systems that come in, but we have to honor just the different changes and that come through, even when they're not convenient. I think that's the point that I want to make, is like we get caught up in my plans, and then here comes a thunderstorm, and we can't activate my ideas or my plans until that system dries up and it's done its thing. And so I don't know about you all, but anything that throws a kink in my my to-do list, you're like, wow, daggum that weather. So we want to just be mindful that the different systems, that they have their own place in the grand scheme of things. And whenever you feel frustrated about something like a flood or high winds or tornadoes, ask your angels to give you some bigger insight about what that piece of business might be about. Oftentimes, they are set into motion for the purpose of cleansing, of clearing up energy, of helping people to make a shift of consciousness, like when they're like really locked into a lower level of consciousness, and then a big natural disaster hits, and it forces them to reevaluate things, to think of things from a different perspective about what is truly important. So we want to be mindful of the elementals and those different systems. We want to be appreciative of the spiritual world and to honor that aspect of our journey. It can be a very rich world, a rich opportunity for us. And the next one is to accept the idea of other realities and other dimensions and other universes, that this is one place in the scheme of things. This is one dimension where we as souls can have an experience, can have opportunities, can explore this dimension through a physical, interactive skin. We stood in line to have this experience. Our souls really wanted to come here. It's kind of like a giant theme park, and we knew it was going to be challenging, it was going to be exhilarating, but it was going to have just these highs and lows, but it would be worth it. And we really wanted to come here. So when the throne angel Gaia sent us an invitation, we're like, yoo-hoo, I'm excited about this. And so we want to remember that. And I think that helps us to maybe put things into perspective whenever we feel out of sorts. And so these are just some ideas that will help you to activate your Earth Star chakra just by engaging with that and seeing where you are on those ideas. I think one of you wrote on there, what kind of meditation do you recommend to do this? And especially when you're very hot energy or hot natured. And I can relate to that because I'm a very type A personality. And so it took me a long time to properly be able to meditate. But if I can do it, anybody can do it. But one of the things that you want to think about first is to learn some active meditations. There's all kinds of meditations. Ask your own angels to guide you to some that will be good for you. And be sure and check out my Angel Connection ebook. Just drop your email in the comments and I will send it to you. And there are several meditations on there. And I have some active meditations and I have some passive meditations. So an active meditation can be something like a yoga, like a moving meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, yoga. I do yoga as my favorite, although I love Tai Chi as well. But also chanting is another active meditation that is very powerful for me. And it's very activating of your chakras as well. It can also be very healing and is super easy. But just it's a part of our self-mastery plan is to learn to master the ego and to basically tell it what we're going to do rather than to let our ego be all over the place and I'm not going to do this and it's too much trouble or it's too hard or my mom doesn't meditate so I'm not going to meditate or it goes against the Bible. It does not go against the Holy Spirit to meditate, to engage with the Holy Spirit in ways that are important and powerful to us. It does not go against them. Even no matter what you heard in, if any church teaches that, then it is a distortion. That's my opinion anyhow. But an active meditation is a great way to start because it helps you to elevate your consciousness. And after a while, you'll be able to focus for longer periods of time on whatever it is that you're using as a focal point. So use some active meditation. So a simple chant would be to chant the Om, just one right after another. Put a timer on and just give yourself, say, 3 minutes. And for the next 3 minutes, I'm going to chant this Om while I'm staring at this candle. 3 minutes is not a very long time. So you can do that. And then when your timer goes off, it's like you go about your business. But every day, maybe give yourself another like 30 seconds. So the next day, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And you take your breath in and you send out the chant. And after a while, you will begin to notice a difference that that you may feel a little bit fuzzy. You might even feel like a sense of disconnection from your physical body, a little elevated in consciousness. Your skin might buzz, your ears might ring. You may feel very heavy. You may feel very light. There's no rhyme or reason. We're all affected in different ways, but just ask your angels for some ideas on meditations. And like I said, if you can get my Angel Connection ebook, just I think you can click on my page here on the Psychic Medium MarVeena page. There is a side tab where you can get on my Angel Connection ebook, or just leave your email in the comments and I'll send it to you. And if you've been on it before but you lost it, let me know and I'll send you another copy of it. And but it is an ebook, so but it has a lot of juicy stuff in there, so be sure and sign up for that. And let me see, what else did I want to say? So the archangels Sandalphon and the archangel Metatron are the angels that particularly help us to begin to activate and engage with our higher chakras. The archangels or the universal angel Raquel and Jules, those are also powerful angels. That's a part of their plan, is to help humans to connect to their higher gifts, to activate their higher chakras, and to get them spinning appropriately and in a way that we can use them in the way that they were intended. And then the earth star Gaia, who is a throne angel. She is a enormous angel and very, very loving, very powerful. Just send out a message to her that you would like to connect to her. And whenever you feel like out of sorts about what you can do, how you can activate your gifts, send out some questions to your angels, your own angels. You are their only job. Like your human journey, your soul journey, your experience here, you have a crew of angels and you are their only job. So don't feel like you have to go begging and borrowing somebody else to give you ideas or information. Your angels can help you. All right, so I had a question. All right, so Candy had asked about a meditation because she can't focus. That I answered it a few minutes ago. Just do an active meditation first, and the active meditation will help you to kind of bridge the gap and get into a place where you can do some other types of meditations. And but like for instance, the third eye meditations, the alternate breathing meditations, those are active meditations. And so for people that have an active personality, it gives you something to do, but it is the after the meditation that is a little bit of the passive side of it, and it has its own gift in the way of maybe out-of-body experiences or just huge epiphanies, downloads of energy that come to you can be very, very powerful. Okay, so there was someone that asked about doing a. No, I don't do relationship questions on the Angel Q&A. It's mostly about our development, our spiritual development and activation. So if you wanted to do a reading on that, then you can go onto my website and you can purchase a reading. And then we can do questions about your relationships and things like that. On here, this one is just about our spiritual development and our psychic development. Okay. All right, what else do we have? Hey, Savannah. Hey, Chris. So the cardinal is, I see you asked about the cardinal. A lot of times the cardinals are our ancestors that have crossed over. They're just like coming in to kind of give you a little bit of a trigger. It triggers our higher senses, and it helps us to remember our connections to our ancestors and to maybe some special gifts that they left us, or to inspire us. I think that's probably the thing that I was best going for, is they want to inspire us to remember who you are, and not just the ego personality, but the higher aspect of ourself. Remember the sacredness of your journey here. So I see the birds all the time, and they tickle me to no end. How they have just the best timing of trying to get our attention and get us to shift out of maybe a disappointment energy or a lower vibration, so that we can elevate our consciousness. And once we are able to elevate our consciousness, we can like grab another gear, and then our angelic spirits and our guides, they can slide a different way of looking at something. They can slide it across our consciousness, so that we're not like locked into a lower level way of thinking of things. So Laura, you're talking about, I'm posting a question about your mother. Oh, that's telling you she's sorry in a dream. So often our ancestors will give us some big clues about the quality of our consciousness and our mass conscious mind in our dreams. And so if you have unfinished business with other spirits, sometimes they will get your attention in a dream and just say, hey, let's think things through. I hope you can forgive me, or maybe forgive yourself, or if nothing else, just meditate on what's going on in your life and where you might have got out of sorts. And they want to get your attention about where you're losing power, and where you might be giving away your power, or where you might need to let go of your attachments to disappointments from the past, relationships that let you down. So be aware, just pray about it, meditate about it, ask your mother or whoever in spirit came in the dream, ask your angels to help give you some insight about what you need to do, what needs to be done. Often you need to forgive either yourself or them, and take some steps to elevate the way you're looking at that situation. Look at it from a different perspective, like a higher perspective, and that will be helpful. So Cayman from California, has my past wife decided to be reincarnated So it's way too early for her to reincarnate. Give her some time. Quite often, there is a general rule of thumb about incarnation. It depends on how much karma that is still left undone before she would come back in, but it will likely be many, many years. So whenever you feel like you want to connect to her energy, just find a really quiet place that feels special to you or maybe to her, that feels sacred. Light some candles, burn some incense, ask your angels to sit with you, ask her spirit to sit with you. Oh, goodness, sorry. Sorry, that was my timer. Ask her angels to sit with you and just open yourself up to receiving her ideas, whatever it is that she's wanting to share with you. And you have to receive that through your higher senses, which might be awkward when you're used to relying on your 5 major senses in order to validate something. I mean, that's what most of us are, that is our comfort zone, is if we can see it or hear it or feel it or touch it, smell it, then we know it's real. But that's not necessarily so. In order to connect to our relatives that have gone on before us, we have to pull from our higher senses. And nobody else can validate that for you. But you know when you feel her spirit around. So honor that and just let her know that you appreciate her visiting you and whatever you're wanting to share with her. Just like if you were talking to someone that's here in the living, what are you wanting to talk about today? Just share your ideas, share your thoughts. If you feel like you have unfinished business, then do what you can to engage with that, and in order that you can overcome it. So anyhow, I want to thank everybody for hopping on the video today. And I tell you what I think is very important is the laws of, in order to stay in balance, we have the idea to give and to take. And I hope you've enjoyed what we've brought in today. And I would be very, very grateful if you would share the video with your friends, especially those that you think might need to connect to their angels or need some extra healing in their life. Send it out with that intention. And that would be a great way to give a gift to me. But I appreciate you all hopping on today. So stay in touch. And I plan to be on next Thursday or Wednesday, I'm not sure which, with some more ideas about how we can best work with our angels in order to have the best soul journey while we're here in this lifetime. So hello, everybody. Goodbye, everybody. I will be in touch. I love you all. We'll see y'all later. Thank you. Bye-bye.